All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Surviving Hollywood Podcast. My name is Aaron Arnold.
I'm Johnny Ray Diaz, and we are missing our co-host, Austin Arnold.
He is shooting a rehearsal for a short film he's filming in the coming week. Hey, the life of an actor, right?
Lucky guy.
And speaking of the life of an actor, we have on our friend Ash Tholpady. Sorry. We ruined the flow. Ash Tholpady. He's actually a really good friend of ours. We've known him for almost a couple years now, or
as long as he's been here, a year and a half.
Yeah, we met him in acting class, and this is a guy that I respect as an actor and like to have as a friend as well, because he's cool to joke around with. He's got a good mind, got a good head on his shoulders. So today, Johnny, what do we talk about with Ash?
Well, for me, when I first saw Ash, I was like, damn, how does he keep those shirts so ironed?
We talk about it.
Golly. But no, this guy was actually a doctor, a medical doctor, still, I guess, considered, right, a medical doctor?
I'm still a doctor.
Turned actor from Houston. We came out here from Houston, from Virginia originally, and we were curious about why would somebody go from making $300,000 a year to pursuing a career in the arts? I wanted to know the reason why, and this guy broke it down a little bit.
I would say that this podcast is like no other that we've ever recorded. Since Ash is such a good friend of ours, there's moments of silence that we're all okay with. There's,
awkward.
There's give, there's take. There's Ash. What do you think?
Give us a lot of take.
This is going to roll right into the episode. So give us a call to action again, except a little bit different. What did you take away from the episode? Whatever you want, we'll roll right into the episode.
I got in that I was not as important as I thought because Austin left very quickly.
Listen, this guy, no ego.
Yeah.
Ash is our most important friend.
All right, this guy sheds it all in this podcast, literally.
Top 10.
Sheds it all. Stay tuned, guys.
A very vulnerable podcast.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for coming on.
Now presenting Johnny Ray Diaz. Ha. Yeah. And the Arnold twins. Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. Tell me what it's like to live in Hollywood. Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. Tell me what it's like to live a life in Hollywood. I'ma survive. I'ma survive. I'ma survive. I'ma survive. Hollywood.
Hey.
You were just telling us before the mics popped on that some rich Chinese millionaire flew you out to China?
You were on their
Billionaire,
yacht.
Billionaire.
Is this true?
This is actually true.
What did you do to earn this free flight?
Well, as you guys know, I'm a doctor.
Oh,
Right.
Retired
right.
doctor.
And,
Retired.
retired doctor. There we go. I always say I'm not a doctor anymore, but I will always be a doctor. I'm a retired doctor.
MD, right?
Yeah.
You should put
MD,
that. You should put that on your
MPH.
headshot at the end.
I do, actually.
I've never
No.
seen that, but you should.
So
Yeah.
how did this guy find you?
I have a friend in Houston that's somehow involved with Chinese mafia.
I always know the shady people in Houston.
But
don't
the
you?
triads, or is that Japanese?
I don't know, but they're nice people. I enjoy them very much. And he just had a connection through some underground thing. And they said, hey, do you want to come out to Las Vegas to talk about CBD and operations? And I was like, well, if they fly me out and give me a hotel, sure.
And
I'll
you
go there."
consider yourself an expert in CBD.
I'm definitely not an expert in CBD.
So what do you talk about?
But I was a spokesperson for a CBD company, one of my first jobs here in Los Angeles.
I remember that.
So, I was like, okay, cool.
You've
But you
used
don't
the
have to be an
product.
expert in CBD as a doctor because what I'm selling is my
Is
personal
hope.
brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is what?
Hope?
Hope?
Okay.
I have a lot of hope. I mean, it makes
So you're
sense.
saying CBD works?
No.
So this will
We should talk about that a little bit because my personal brand is credibility, right? And if I start selling things that I don't really believe in, then that ruins my credibility.
So you don't believe in CBD?
only if you're a bad actor. So you're saying you do believe in CBD.
I think there's studies that show that it works for epilepsy, but maybe not for all the other.
Maybe not for
effects it has.
everything.
Yeah. that
Not,
they
not to
tout.
rub on your knee
Everything.
pain or your lower
Yeah,
back pain.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't work.
They say you
We
need
just
to,
don't have
you
the
need,
data for
They
it.
say you need to be a little bit high though.
So you
a little
went
bit of THC with that CBD.
You went to a CBD convention in Las Vegas, got paid, and talked to everybody about how CBD isn't a cure-all.
No.
So that kind
Actually,
of backfired.
kind of backfired there.
So what's the payday for something like that?
For being a spokesperson?
Just between us, for the fly out to Las Vegas doing the presentation.
You know what? I did not charge them an hourly rate, which I should have done.
So
That's
flat
that's
rate?
one thing that I
They're like, we
forgot.
got you for the whole day, Ash.
Yeah.
You got to be talking all day.
Yeah.
You're
I mean,
"Damn."
like Gary Vee says, give value,
Gary
free
Vee.
all the time, right?
You watch Gary Vee?
Yeah. And I've been listening for the past few days, 2 or 3 days. Got a lot of talk about that. I mean,
I'm a
how to
fan.
apply the principles to acting. That's what I'm interested in, especially with regards to personal brand. It's some interesting things there.
Maybe I should watch before I judge. He just kind of seems like the quintessential guru.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's a guru these days.
But the thing is, he's right. Like, what are some of the stuff you learned?
I'm not familiar with him, but is he like the Tony Robbins of millennials?
He's a
Yes.
guy, yeah.
Little
well, no, I think he's a little bit different.
Little
a
did
lot
I-
different.
little
Because
d-
Tony Robbins is a psychologist, right? Gary Vee's a wine enthusiast. He wrote the book Crush It. He
So
was
a
in
wine
liquor
enthusiast
sales.
tells you how to run your acting career?
Social
No,
media career.
No. Yeah, social media career.
I had no idea
Exactly.
my brother was part of his cult.
I'm a fan. I saw him on Hot Ones. He survived all 10 hot wings, and
Austin mailed the check.
And he did
I
it with
liked it.
what? His pure tyranny of will, or
yeah,
like
you got to watch the episode, dude. He did.
yeah.
Anyway, before we
Because I thought I could do it. I
Before-
thought I could eat these wings, and I did it.
this conversation's already gotten so weird. Before we stray any
so
farther, I want to
let's go back to the question. What's a payday for
Dude.
something like that?
$500 a day for just being on set, and then a portion of the profits, 1% of the profits. every month.
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a independent auditor or bookkeeper, or you're just relying on what they say.
could you be
Good
like,
question. I
hey,
don't know the answer to
open
that.
the books. I want to see them.
Just giving you a hard time, dude. That's great.
Yeah.
Cheers.
But okay, so this dude flew you out. Now, how did it go? Like, was it a good experience? Were they happy with what you did? Like,
Well,
What did you
I think,
talk about?
I think I learned a lot of lessons. One is like just ask them what they want beforehand so that you can give them something, because if they're just gonna like ask random numbers about how much is a CBD oil to produce, because they wanted to start from scratch, have vertical integration, just manufacture the whole thing and also sell it retail. I didn't know what they wanted to do until I got there.
So
and
you
I
were
was
you were acting as the figurehead for the company.
No, because there are 2 other people that were there that were more operations based. I'm basically the face of the company, you know, like this is doctor approved. But as I did that, I was like, am I going to advertise products that I really don't even believe in now? So it got me thinking.
now was this while you were there? You thought this, or afterward?
afterwards?
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
what other products would anybody? I mean,
Yeah,
everything's kind of like a pill or a
You do
potion.
Coca-Cola. I don't see you drinking that every day. I know you do that commercial.
I think drinking whiskey is not good for you.
Unless you go,
That feels so good.
I believe in great value vitamins. You know, that's the only
Yeah.
thing that's like, other than that, you're selling a product.
I think anything medical related is probably something I shouldn't be selling.
But isn't that what all doctors do? Pharmaceutical companies pay them to, hey, try this
No,
pill.
you can't. No, you can't. Because in academic medical centers, like the one that I was at, you're not allowed to do any commercials.
What about your general physician though? Like when you go there and like, I'm really having this kind of pain. Now you should try this new medicine that this pharmaceutical company provided, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Ask your doctor
They don't.
about Lipitor.
There's a lot of rules and regulations against that.
But isn't that the
Yeah.
whole point? Is that
Because
these
they used to be able to take them for lunches. They used to be able
right?
to take them on
Oh, so they
trips.
can't do that anymore.
Can't do that anymore.
Oh, so it's all man. Thanks a lot, government.
Ever since
It
9/11,
was all
right?
mine.
Ruined it all.
People got
9/11
so
changed everything.
uptight. I have a feeling we'll phase in, start this pod right here.
Yeah, maybe we'll skip that whole
It was
section.
everything. Yeah,
All right, so that was that the first and the last time you'll fly with a Chinese billionaire?
that's probably the last. I mean, this guy was pretty cheap. I
Really?
mean, he
No
came
fr-
in.
no
he
perks?
had
Well, how do you think he's a
Adidas
billionaire?
shoes. Yeah, you're right.
All the billionaires
Just
dress.
like a black shirt. I was like, is this guy really a billionaire?
You're like,
Yeah.
do I get my own seat on the flight, or I have to
Yeah.
always sit on your lap?
I didn't even get like to check baggage. Like
Really?
it was just like the basic economy fare on United.
Oh, it wasn't even first class.
Is he really
Vegas
like,
is such a
That's what I was like.
is it really his thing though, or is he just kind of
I-
like the figurehead too? Like you guys are both just putting your name to it.
Who knows? Who knows?
Ash, I have a question for you. Totally off subject of this.
What's your problem?
You are one
Probably
of
alcohol.
you are one of our few guests that's watched the majority of the episodes. Surviving
true
Hollywood.
fan.
Give it to
Every
us.
single episode.
The
What-
fan episode.
What have you learned? What episodes do you remember you took away some things?
Also, give us your hard critiques.
Well, yesterday I learned about. I listen to every single podcast. I will say that, And
A lot of people do. A lot
I
of people
like
do.
the perspective that you guys bring, casting directors, producers, directors, and even people that understand distribution, like the guy from the last podcast.
That was a good one, right?
That was very.
That was one of the
interesting.
best, right?
That was good.
I learned something from every guest that is on there.
We're talking about Renee Mena, for those wondering.
Actually, I had a few people send me like, "Hey, just listen to that podcast. Super informative.
Yeah.
Learned a lot."
It was. And we were like good at conversating, I must say.
And it was awkward too, which is Aaron's specialty.
See, I didn't even think it was awkward. I was
It
like,
wasn't awkward at
why'd
all.
you guys lose the awkwardness?
Well, Aaron's specialty is like, antagonizing and confronting the guest. So let's get down to the brass
Yeah,
tacks here. You
seriously.
really feel that?
Yeah,
Like,
what's your problem with Trump? I like to ask people. Like, what's the big deal?
You and Dan Ring.
nothing. He's one of my favorite presidents.
yeah, I think he's great.
Well, you're not American.
That's true. He's not from here.
No, you're American.
Anyway, can we get back down to what we're really here
Ash is
for?
our friend, guys, in the audience who think I'm being mean to him, and I don't want to come off as mean. Ash, please roast me.
I think why we're curious about the journey here is, for those that don't know, Asher was a doctor, and he left all that behind to become an actor
For the money.
for the money
And the
Right.
security.
and the fame and everything
right.
else that comes with it.
Because Will Smith makes a lot of money, and I was like, 300,000 a year is not enough.
Right.
So I want to make a lot
350,000 is where you want to be
Yeah.
So he's a licensed MD, and he gave all that up.
Him and Ken Jeong.
to do this
May have
podcast.
been a few people that died on my watch, but
Oh,
we won't talk about
that
that.
got morbid.
So what do you love about acting that being a doctor didn't give you?
I actually don't very much.
You're like the Indian version of Ken Young.
Is it
Ken Jeong.
Yeah,
It's kind of the J is kind of a Y sort of. It's a weird thing.
Dude.
Close enough, dude. We get it.
Dude.
No, you know what? I wanted to be an actor. I knew that I wanted to be an actor ever since I was 4 years old. But my parents, as all Indian parents do, kind of push you away from those things. They're like, you would suck at acting. You will never be good. Just stick with like.
They said
the
you would
MD
suck
route."
at acting.
Yeah.
That's pretty harsh.
Yeah, be like, you don't have any.
Well, they said this right
Celebrity
after they saw your
parents.
play.
Well,
that was
yeah.
probably why.
They were right.
That was you're right.
No, I'm just
That
kidding.
might
So-
have been it.
So then what happened? How did you convince them?
I never convinced them.
Now, this-
You went through med school.
Was this a pre or
Through med
post med
school.
school?
This was like probably throughout my life. I'd be like, you know what? I should just go off to New York with my friend after college, and we should just do this acting thing. But then I chickened out. I was a coward. I was like, I want to make some money, and I don't want to be on the sidewalk, because that's what I thought. I was like, what it meant to be an actor. is
Did
to
you
be
do-
really poor?
Did you do any extracurriculars like in high school or college with acting at all? Did you touch it?
Yeah, actually, in college, then I took like an acting class and got an A-.
Nobody's
So-
perfect.
That's highly subjective. in
Yeah.
acting, 101 acting class, right?
Yeah. But I don't know. I think I just had a lot of fear instilled in me of being an artist ever since I was, as soon as I was born.
And
Don't be an actor.
what do your parents say now that you're doing it?
Well, I don't really talk to them.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't really talk to my family right now.
and this is the perfect time for us to let you know we actually have your parents on the line.
On the Bluetooth.
I hate you guys.
Let's rekindle this.
No, I'm kidding.
Whoa. Anyway, that got dark.
so what?
I'm-
what
go
are you
ahead.
what are you into, Ash? What kinds of stuff you've been doing these past couple years as an actor? The trials, the tribulations, what you're most proud of, what you regret,
Is that two different questions?
just anything.
it's a
dude.
handful of them.
That's a lot of questions
yeah.
at
It's
once.
just a grab bag, buddy.
Reaching for straws now.
I think. All right, let's just stop this.
Dude, what are you doing?
We're kidding, dude.
Okay,
We're kidding.
me and Johnny and Austin will talk, and you just jump in whenever you're comfortable. Okay?
It's funny because Ash brought this alcohol to make the conversation flow easier.
Yeah.
Did I?
You said you needed a little medication, but I didn't know that's what your medication was,
We
dude.
can
No,
talk
I just
about
wanted
the act.
coffee.
We can talk about the acting class we all used to be in. We can talk about the game show we did in Vegas together. We can talk about
I think I'm more curious, honestly, about the journey. That's what I'm curious about, why you would leave a six-figure income, a healthy six-figure income, to come here and make peanuts, basically. You know?
Yeah.
Some would say, you're an idiot.
A lot of people say
Not
that.
us, but
Right?
some people.
smartest man I know.
So what do you say to those people?
You know what? I don't really hear that right now.
But I'm sure people. You said people
It's
said that to
surprising,
you,
though. It's
right?
surprising that people haven't said that. I think when I left MD Anderson, there was one attending that said, "Look, I also am interested in the arts. I would like to paint, but I'm more realistic than you. I've decided to take on this job and paint on the side. Why don't you just do that? And we'll just let you go off for auditions at some point. You can do that."
Why didn't you do
That
that?
sounds like
Well,
a
that was-
compromise.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah,
But
it's a
there's-
compromise.
But there's no industry in Houston, which is where you would have
Exactly.
had to stay.
Yeah.
Independent short feature films.
I did a lot of independent short films, but then feature lengths and stuff. But after a while, you're just like, I want to go big or go home. But I won't go home. I'll keep on going big.
What happened to that friend?
He's still there.
A millionaire
still working
now.
there.
Still painting now,
Yeah,
selling online.
he's got a family and all that thing.
That's very admirable.
Mm-hmm.
When you were in Houston, did you ever run into like an opportunity and think, man, this is my big break?
Yes, I thought Rooster Teeth Productions. You know Rooster Teeth. Okay, they make some pretty big productions in the Austin area.
Movies or theater?
Hey,
Yeah, I think
name.
it's YouTube Red and also some movies as well. There was a opportunity for a pilot, and it was a comedy, and it was like a Jason Bateman sitcom. And I thought, oh, this is finally I'm getting something that's pretty big here. And I went in and I did the audition. It was really cold.
you had an agent?
I was no, I didn't have an agent in Houston.
You submitted yourself.
I submitted myself.
Is it the same over there, Actors Access, or what?
Yeah, I think there's not as many jobs available in Houston, so Actors Access is one of them. The other one is Facebook. All the legit stuff, obviously, is Actors Access, Facebook.
You want to be an
get-
extra? You go to Facebook.
Really? Here?
Is that how you do it?
I'm
Let's
just
see.
trying to fill in the blanks.
okay.
So what did they promise you, and what did you expect?
Well, what's interesting was it was really cold. I had a lot of mucus running down my nose, and I was
Oh, when you
like,
said it was cold, I thought you meant like the audition was like a cold audition.
no,
like,
no. It was
cold
the weather
read.
was cold. I thought I did pretty well, and I just kept wiping my nose, and then at the end of it, they wanted to shake my hand, and I was like, okay, here we go. And I'm sure they saw the audition afterwards, see me wiping my nose, and they're like, that guy shook our hand after doing that.
Everybody
They-
got
They
sick.
probably didn't even think about
Guy
it.
gave me the flu.
Yeah.
running in your mind for years.
Yeah. Sorry, casting director.
That guy's probably still thinking about you.
So what was
Yeah.
this Jason Bateman thing? Which movie was it?
It was actually a pilot web series, and it was actually a pretty funny script. I don't know whatever came out of it, but I would
I'm a
have loved
huge
to.
Bateman fan. Huge.
I think they ended
You're
up
the everyday man.
They gave
The-
it to Logan.
The everyday put upon man.
They gave it to Logan Paul, I think.
And he's done a lot with it.
So what was the clincher that made you move to LA?
I wanted to get like more training because the acting class that I was in was only once a week. So basically, I just wanted to come out here.
Aren't most
Really-
classes once a week?
No.
I feel like all.
Twice a
I think
day.
a lot
Twice
of
a
I think
day.
a lot of
I
classes
think
in
it's
LA are
like the
once a week.
majority are.
yeah.
Tuesday, Thursday kind of thing.
Like Meisner training right now. That's
Well, yeah.
Tuesday or.
But in the
yeah,
class
Tuesday
we
and
met,
Saturday.
was it once a
I
week?
think it's like half of them at least are once a week.
Yeah.
It could be even more, but like
But it
you
was
get
really
more
long.
opportunities. You can do 3 scripts in a row, right? If you wanted to, you could do scripts all day if you wanted
In
to.
our
That's
old
true.
class, yeah.
Yeah. So how did I meet these guys? Who is the audience now? Do they even know you guys for real?
Whoa.
Is that 90% of the audience?
Meta.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Your audience. Who is your audience? Do 50% know your story? Do 90% know your story?
I feel like we've shared ours for the most part.
we don't hide anything.
We are
I
an
mean,
open book. We can talk about anything. I don't know.
I talk about anything as
No,
long
the
as it's
reason
film
why I
related.
asked that, the reason why I said is like, do they know how I know you guys?
Through,
met an
yeah,
acting
through acting
class.
class.
But that's it.
And we'll
Tell
set,
them.
we'll set that up in the intro as well.
Oh, okay.
You notice
it'll
we
be said.
started doing intros before each
Yeah, I
podcast.
did.
Yeah, so
I
you
usually, press 30 seconds forward. And get straight into it.
classic.
Just like I do with all.
Just
the-
like
all of
Marin.
them, Yeah.
I don't care about Marin's cats.
Yeah. Boomer lives. Oh,
That's at the end.
I know.
So we all met in acting class.
Yeah. We all met in an acting class that you could do as many scripts as you want to. I wouldn't have gotten that same opportunity in Houston.
Isn't the
Plus, the
disadvantage
other
though,
thing-
like these, you can do as many scripts as you want, but then you're like, yeah, just put up 4 scenes and they're all mediocre, because like,
You could do that,
You
but
know what I
hopefully
mean?
you don't. You learn not to do that.
right?
Yeah,
but I'm
but you
saying,
could.
You put in the work.
You could.
I've never put up 4 scripts at all.
no, it's just a lot. I mean, it's a lot of how you're gonna make them all that good. But anyway, continue. Sorry. How did you find the class?
But also, like in Los Angeles, you can work with people and like actually film stuff. When I was trying to do things in Houston, nobody had any idea how to get good sound, how to get good footage or anything like that,
Okay.
So this is like has a concentration of artists where, you can collaborate.
Over
A
concentration.
gold mine of collaborators.
Hell yeah.
Would you say that the filmmakers in Houston were not as good?
Absolutely. I mean, the student films that I
quality?
do in LA have higher quality than, some of the ones in Houston. Except for, I would say there's a couple independent films I did. The Challenger Disaster was very high quality.
Based on the flight, the Challenger?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Did they show the crashing of it?
Yeah. They showed the reaction of the engineers who were trying to stop the flight from happening.
that
So
was
what
what
the
it
story
was
is
about? Huh.
Everybody talks about the, the people that
astronauts?
were on the astronauts.
Well, they're the ones that died.
Yes. And
why-
they have an interview with that, but like no one ever talked about what happened before that. What prevented this? Why did this flight go up in the first place if they knew there was things wrong with it?
Why did it go up in the first place?
It's kind of like
Conspiracy?
management versus, like management, people wanting to not have a bad reputation and not
Right.
lose more money versus like engineers that know that, what to do that's
Man,
right.
They got an image
So-
to uphold.
When you moved to LA, what would you say is some of the things that you realize now that, oh, I should have prepared better for this?
There's a bunch of liberals here.
I didn't realize.
or
See?
anything. From
anything.
Texas.
See, there goes Aaron, antagonizing the guest.
Like, there's people in Texas
You're-
right now.
You're from a deep red state. There's no, let's not like hide that from the audience. You're a Trump guy. You're in a certain tax bracket. You're a Trump guy.
Well, originally you're from Virginia, right?
Yeah, I'm originally from Virginia.
So that's even more red, isn't it?
I used
Or
to
they're
talk black,
pretty equal.
yes.
They're pretty
Used to have
equal,
Southern
right?
Accent.
Both pretty equal.
I used to watch Celebrity Apprentice. I get it. Highly entertaining. Can't keep my eyes off him. I get it.
Well,
but besides
Ash-
that, what surprised you about LA?
yeah.
Oh, the apartments did not come with refrigerators and washer and dryers.
Or basements.
My
Dude, I feel
God.
I feel like most of them come with the refrigerators.
I think
Or microwave
refrigerator.
ovens.
I think microwave.
Not the ones in the Hollywood Hills.
Every place I've lived in has a
I've seen
refrigerator.
some without. I've seen some without.
Yeah.
Though.
It's amazing.
Ash just looked at one place.
It's amazing, like what you can get in Texas, for $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was not really prepared for that. Wasn't prepared for the traffic. Wasn't prepared for the expense of it all. So it's lots of things.
So when you moved here, and did you research any of this ahead of time, or are you just like, I'm going on a whim? Just
I just
Ash was
should've gone
surprised on the traffic.
he's like,
One
my
thing
God,
from
there's so
back-
much traffic here.
Actually, I think podcasts have helped that. Your all's podcasts help me
Hey.
deal with the traffic.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's going to
we
be,
like to do that.
we're going to pull that sound clip and we're going to use that.
So before I started listening, I was pretty angry all the time in traffic. You can imagine.
Well, you were also going through vicious personal things.
Yeah, probably.
Can't drink and
Lawsuits
drive.
and all kinds of
You
things.
can be angry and just have nothing going on.
What kind of lawsuits have you been involved with?
This got all weird.
So
Oh, we don't have to talk about it.
yeah,
It's just us.
I want to try and sound sincere because I'd really like to know your experience as a person of color.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't think you're supposed to
I've-
call
you
it that
know
anymore,
what's
are you?
great about
A
California?
person of color?
Yeah, I don't think that's how you. That's
No,
it.
Well, this guy dated
it's a color-
people of color. So
All right, let's
Yeah,
not-
you don't
let's-
say
let's not bring her into
colored
this.
person anymore.
No, I didn't say colored person. I said person of color.
Right, but
Johnny could say it. Ash could say it, but not me.
Are you offended, Johnny?
nah, it takes a
Okay.
lot to offend me. But
Okay, you know what?
but
I
other
work
people-
with a bunch of bigoted people who don't necessarily care about the experience of people of color, and that's fine. Listen, you can care about whatever you want, but
let's
do.
call them minorities. How about that instead of people of color?
Well, they're the majority if they're all together, and they're the majority here in Los Angeles.
Actually,
they? But they're not in power.
I like that California is not as racist as a lot of other places that I've been. This is the first place where people have not said, go back to your country, terrorist.
In Texas,
Yeah.
they do that.
I gotten it from a Mexican guy, actually.
I used to
at
say,
a bar.
I used to say that to my buddy all the time back
Yeah.
home in Arizona. He's from the Middle East, and I'd be like, bro, do they still let you into the airport or what?
Bro, thanks for
I think
9/11.
I
We're
think
good
that's-
friends
yeah, I
though.
think
Yeah,
that's
we're
funny.
great friends. He makes jokes about me, I make jokes about him. I'm like, oh man, hey, there's your uncle.
And he
You know,
goes, "Hey,
I'm
there's
like,
your taco."
exactly. You know, yeah, you get it, dude.
I do, I get
Dude,
it.
It's all good humor.
but you don't, you don't think that's been a problem for you, like
Not here.
booking roles, because you've been pretty recently with the woke movement. I mean, you didn't really have to be here in the '90s when they were casting just for Friends, and that's it. Anyway, next question.
Okay. So it's not so racist here, is what you're
It's
saying.
not so racist. I was at a Houston bar one time, and this random Mexican guy just comes up, takes my wine bottle that I have and just takes a swig of it. I'm like, dude, you have to pay for that. You can't just take my wine bottle. And he's like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to send you back to your country.
That's explicit racism.
What?
How old were both of you?
You know what you should have? You should have looked them straight in the eye and been like, I'm from Mexico.
In your 20s, 30s?
Yeah, 30s.
Damn.
What'd you
Very
do?
surprising to me. I just told the bouncer and got rid of him.
And the
That's
bouncer
great.
was Mexican too, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's actually right. I'm just
The
kidding.
bouncer took a swig of your.
Yeah, the bouncer told me to leave. So
That does happen out here though. We see those tirades every now
Oh,
and then.
really?
It happens everywhere, right?
One time, a guy at a bar thought that I was being.
It was New Year's Eve.
He was drunk, and we were at New Year's Eve, one of those places where we had to pay like $70 and
Sassafras.
free drinks all night.
Sassafras in Hollywood.
But they have the set menu, you know? They have the set menu, so you can only order like 5 drinks the whole night, but it's all free after you pay the $70.
Still good.
But they were weirdly named drinks. Yeah, it was great. Anyway, it's really loud. I just happened to see this, like there's a menu across the bar, so I go, hey, amigo, can you hand me the menu, please?
Okay.
He didn't even like look as dark as you. He looked, but I guess he was
did
Mexican.
he look as dark as me?
But he was, no, not at all. I mean, I guess he did look a little bit Mexican, but it was really dark. It was nothing. I was just saying, hey, man, can you pass me the menu? I just want to order a drink. And he was like, what'd you say? Like, this guy was really drunk.
Oof.
And
Yeah.
I was like,
Wait, he was the bartender?
No, he was just a
the-
customer.
This
Oh.
guy had a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and I said, hey, amigo, can you pass me that menu, please? And he was like, dude, I don't know. He started accusing me of being racist. I was like, dude, I just was looking for the menu.
You are racist, though.
In what
Poor,
way?
poor choice of words, man.
In what,
Amigo.
in what way,
but
Ash,
the-
am I
You
racist?
should not call him amigo.
Yeah.
Because you don't even
called him a friend.
You don't.
Oh, enemy.
You should have been playing off like, no, I was talking about Migos, you know, the
thing-
group,
Migos.
man.
Listen, if somebody called me, hey, Blanco, I'd be like, yeah, here's the menu.
Guys-
I would love for someone to say that.
People say that to me all the time.
Hey, Blanco, pass me that menu real quick.
Yeah. the people-
Okay.
Well, they don't say. I didn't say it with that attitude. And,
I just remember both of you were kind of drunk and just
yeah, dude.
nobody was backing
like,
down.
Well, because his girlfriend was pushing him back, and I was like, because he was like, do you want me to kick your ass or something like that? I'm paraphrasing now. I can't remember exactly, but I was like, yeah, dude, why don't you try it? Because I was just wanting the menu, and I was like, trying to like, I wasn't back. It was fun.
Did you get your drink at least?
Yeah, I got it because his girlfriend made him back off.
Okay.
Love to get him on the pod.
All right, one
Talk
day.
about it. You know what I love? Because we've worked with Ash in our the humor endorphins. I was waiting for Ash to bring it up.
Sketch
our
comedy.
Sketch comedy channel. You know what I love about working with Ash? Johnny?
Go ahead.
I love his attitude on set. When we went to Vegas to do the game show and we filmed comedy sketches together, Ash always has the best attitude.
Do I?
Don't you guys think?
Ash, we don't know if he says this jokingly, but he always says, "This is the best day of my life." After we spend a day
He
on
seems
set.
sincere about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
I
that a
will say
sincere-
that. Like in LA, the highest point,
That's the highest
the
point so
highest
far?
point has been being with humor endorphins. I gotta say,
So how long have you been here now?
a year and a half.
Okay. Since day one to now, what would you do different if you could?
Oh boy, I don't think I would do anything differently.
like
I
do
think I'm moving at a rapid clip. I just work really hard, stay in class, make content.
What did you like about the class that we met in, Screen Actor System, and what do you like about your new class now for people looking for acting classes?
I like that you have a chance to make your own reel. But if you have your own equipment, then that phases out. You can make your own content anywhere. I like the fact that you can
Screen
put as
Actor
many
System.
scripts as you want up in Screen Actor
This
System.
is Screen Actor System,
Yeah.
okay.
But more importantly, it's the people that I met. I met all you guys. I met really terrific people that I can now co-create with. That's like the most powerful thing about a class. Any class is a network you build. Because theoretically, I would argue that, once you're at a certain point in your acting, you can just get a script, pick up some sides and just get together with some people and put it on camera and like give critiques to each other and just get better that way.
If you respect him, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trick is finding somebody who's like can lead a class well, right?
But if
Any
it's
of you guys could.
Leave an ego at the door?
Yeah, but if like we were in a room
Exactly.
together, Austin and Johnny would be speaking up just as much as me. There's really no leader of the class, right?
But that's what Ash is saying. Ash is saying if you just get a group of your peers,
Yeah.
you guys can critique each other.
Exactly.
I
Just
think
have
it's,
like the entire room critique it.
yeah, that's good. But I think it's like if you have one person in charge.
Too many cooks, man.
I
Too
think
many
it's-
cooks.
But like it's cool, like if the group critique, I agree. But like especially with people you respect. But there's some people who who like to talk, and maybe you're like, okay, I heard what you had to say, but can we move on? They're like, no, if you just, you need that leader to move things along.
Got to respect the people you're with.
Right.
So
And their time.
So when you came here, oftentimes people might do this, and they might put a timeline. They're like, all right, if I don't make it in 5 years, I'm out of here. Did you do that with yourself?
I think that's the cool thing about having gone through the journey of being a doctor. Because I spent years in med school, residency, fellowship, and then I became a professor because I knew that it's a long-term journey. And that's the thing about any professional coming out and doing an arts career is that they know, oh, hey, this is a marathon. So I just need to create an income that I can sustain, for 10 or more years, and I'll eventually make it. So I don't have a timeline, I'm just like, I'll make it eventually, and I will work as hard as I can. But if I don't make it in 4, 5, 7, 10 years, it's not like I'm going to go home, because I know this is just a long-term journey.
Plus, you have that.
And I enjoy it.
You
I
have that-
enjoy this. Can you imagine doing something that you hate
Yeah,
for
it's great.
15 years?
It pays the bills really well.
Which is what you did.
Oh,
Yeah, just to pay bills. I mean, yeah, I was working 10 hours a month, making $300,000 a year.
10 hours a month? So that's perfect.
But-
Why could you not do that and act?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, you can't. You can only go so far in Houston.
You fucked that up, dude.
I
You should have
tapped
done that in
up.
Los Angeles.
You can't transfer that here? You
Like,
can't take a job at a hospital?
What was your specialty?
But I would. Oh, it's
thought you worked in
transfusion
blood.
medicine, blood banking.
And they don't need one guy to do that here?
They do, but they make you work a lot.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's a lot more
He's
lax
like, I
with
don't
the
want,
medical rules.
I don't want to work
work a lot.
15 hours a month.
Exactly.
That's too much.
Any more than 10 hours a month is crazy. So
Are you trying to come off as unrelatable because people?
Would you recommend somebody, makes bank for like 10 years doing a job they don't like and then move out and have this freedom in LA? Or would you wish you would have came out and struggled financially a little more, but, started this 10 years ago?
it just depends on your personality. I'm not the type of person that I could, struggle financially and do this at the same time. I built up some residual income. I was very smart about my decision to move here. I was like, I've got some income coming in through residual sources, and now I can make that move because I need to, keep doing this for 10 years. I'm not going to just do this for a couple years and then go home, save. I'm not going to come out here with $100,000 and then say, hey, if I don't make it in 2 years, I'm going to go back to medicine. My journey with medicine is over. I'm not doing that anymore.
Except
Doesn't
on
matter
TV.
what happens.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now it's CBD.
Yeah.
So what are your residual income sources, if you can reveal those?
Photography.
Oh.
and,
Shutterstock.
Stocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stocks?
What
Yeah.
stocks you like?
Ah.
But that's
Okay.
I just hold for a very long time.
Market
A
took a
little
little dip
S&P?
recently.
A little S&P?
Little S&P, you're
Okay.
right.
All right.
Berkshire
S&P
Hathaway,
500?
Apple,
All right.
What do you think about Bitcoin?
I think Bitcoin is going to be
A sham.
a sham for a lot of people. And people
It
are gonna-
happened to me, man.
Yeah.
You can't make
It's gonna
jewelry
all
with Bitcoin.
collapse.
I'm 15,000 in the hole.
So what would cause it to collapse?
This when there's no more Bitcoins that can be mined, I think the whole thing is going to come down crashing on everybody.
Wouldn't those Bitcoins
Or
just...
Well, that's not for
regulation.
100 years.
Or if people regulate. Well, if
We'll
it's
be dead
for-
by then, dude.
In what,
So
what
we
do you-
won't have to
No,
deal with
I'm
that.
kidding. I don't know. I don't know enough about Bitcoin to tell you what's going to happen. It's just I don't really
I don't
understand
know
it
enough about it.
This
I
guy's a big Tron supporter. You think it's going to pick up? Do you think it's going to pick up? I could really use a couple more pennies.
Do it.
All right, dude.
That's your financial advice.
My Tron stock
Yeah.
is...
I understand. I don't really understand real estate that well either, so I wouldn't invest in that. I
think
understand stocks.
I think real estate is probably the safest
But
investment.
can you give
My
us
opinion.
one stock tip? Like, what's a stock you're liking?
I'm all about marathons, buy and hold. Just keep one stock that I'm thinking about is Ericsson, because they supply all the 5G to everybody. They've got a lot of contracts with Sprint and Verizon. 5G's coming out pretty soon.
It is.
Would you look at if a company's profitable
also-
or no?
Oh yeah, you got to look at the entire.
This guy went
balance
heavy in
sheet,
WeWork. IPO.
You got to look at a lot of things. Price to sales ratio. You got to look at is
Dividends.
their revenues
Trying to get
growing
those
every
dividends.
year. If you're a dividend player, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could see. I could see it, man. I could see you rising up early, coffee in hand, ready, newspaper in the other,
Got the charts in front of you on
ready
your
to
laptop.
start the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the way I
Dude,
roll.
how'd you get an agent when you moved here?
I went to the SAG-AFTRA website to look at the SAG-AFTRA franchised agents, and I just went in
good call.
alphabetical order, A through C.
There's a
just
lot.
Emailed,
Cold email.
cold email.
Hi,
Just
my
be
name
like,
is
hey,
Ash.
I said interesting story on the subject line
Nice.
because they already know you're submitting.
You got him.
Yeah.
And what was
I
that
got
story?
got him in the hook.
Interesting
Hey, I just
story.
quit a job.
Okay.
As a
You
doctor.
should have been the subject line actor
To
or
be a
doctor
film
turned
actor.
actor.
I mean, that's basically what he did.
It's pretty good. There's some that I put ethnically ambiguous actor in the subject line just to like. You know,
Just to see.
Hook 'em.
Buzzword.
I don't think that worked out
They're
very
like,
well.
we got enough of those, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't be racist. I might be white, but I might be Indian.
Dude, you can't say that anymore.
White?
I'm kidding, dude. It's
Indian?
giving me a hard time.
He said ethnically.
I'm giving you a hard time.
I personally like the way Asif Khan approaches. He's another person.
I
that was in
remember
our
that. I remember that, dude.
class.
Middle Eastern guy.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh,
Asif, right?
Osif.
Isn't it Asif?
Asif.
And what did he do?
He just does some really crazy things.
It's
And he'll
awesome.
just walk into the office and be like, "You guys want me? I know you want me."
But
know? Here's
Aaron,
my
you remember who
YouTube
that was,
channel.
right?
Yeah, awesome.
I
Yeah.
remember
He smoked.
him.
He liked to smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah,
We all do.
I remember he was the one that was it Matt? I can't remember who it was. Somebody was telling me a story. There was a Budweiser commercial, and they had actual beers in the audition. And the first thing they said is, "Don't drink the beers. Don't open them because you're not supposed to even drink in the commercial anyway."
They probably only
And
had a couple.
He cracked it
Oh,
first thing open, and he
that's
started pounding the beer in the audition. And they were like, the guy was like, "Dude, I just told you not to do this."
Did he
And
book it?
Callback.
Really?
Yeah.
But then he did it in the callback.
I think he did it in the callback, and they were probably like, "Buddy."
But the thing is, if you did it at the audition and you got booked it, why not?
I don't know.
You was rewarded the first time.
They
Yeah.
only have so many beers, probably.
But
Yeah.
And they're looking forward to drinking them.
so somebody just responded to your cold call or cold email and said, "Hey, come in."
Yeah, I got some interviews like that, just
Cool.
through emails.
Cool.
Yeah,
Did you believe in the phone call anymore? Does the phone call work? Calling
I
the
haven't tried
office?
it. I don't really like to talk on the phone.
Yeah,
I just
me-
like to
yeah.
text.
Yeah,
and,
me
you know,
neither, dude.
Yeah, nobody does anymore.
Nobody, yeah,
People are like,
It
"Why are
might
you
work.
calling me?"
it might work.
It could because they're
It's,
like, nobody calls. It's like a weird thing.
I think it's a totally different world for actors. You know, with the internet available and social media and YouTube, you don't go through the traditional channels of needing to audition for agencies. Like if you're like, "Hey, I've got a lot of followers and I'm really good as an actor," and they'll be like, "Sure, we'll take you." It's,
Yeah,
it's
they just
kind of
want
an
that
important thing.
audience.
Yeah, they do want that audience.
So you've thought about starting a YouTube channel or something. Cynical guy, I recall. Right?
I thought it was Optimist.
You know, like I said before, I've been listening to a lot of Gary Vee, and it's all about personal branding. And you know, he made some very interesting points. One is that if you're an actor and you're not putting out content, I mean, what are you doing? Because
Waiting for that phone
it's
call.
free to put your stuff up on YouTube. You don't have to pay for that airtime, right? Because it is airtime. Whatever social media you have, and if you want to target people, it's pretty cheap to target people, and it's better to get in now when you can target people rather than when TV and everybody else gets into the industry of promoting their stuff on Facebook.
I think they're
and
already doing
Instagram.
that.
Yeah, see it a
They're on
lot.
YouTube.
Jimmy Kimmel's
But
the
the
king of
price
network
hasn't
TV.
been driven up yet. I mean, like, you know, how much does a commercial cost
It's
on
still
national TV?
it's still affordable. What you're
Yeah,
saying.
it's still affordable right now. So that's why, you know, if you know how to use Google AdWords and Facebook ads, and then you have a lot of content, that's a way to go.
But you just pay for it, right?
Yeah, you pay for that.
That's how you use it.
Yeah.
So you think that's like the kind of the new way now? Because I just read that article about the guy from Aladdin that said ever since he's done Aladdin, he hasn't had an audition since.
Really?
Will
Lead of
Smith.
Aladdin.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
The Indian guy.
There was an
But it
yeah. there
has
was
only
an-
been a year and a
At
half.
least.
Yeah, but
okay.
but
It's only been a year and a
Wait,
half.
Well, the
and
movie
it-
didn't come out till 3 months
Yeah,
ago.
but he said he hasn't had a single audition since
wait, I thought you
playing
said
Aladdin.
I thought you said something else. Like it wasn't like a. I've never booked a single role since.
No,
Aladdin or
he
something.
says I haven't had an audition.
That's bullshit.
Where'd you
I
hear
think
about
it's
that?
it was an article. He was on an interview.
Weedcast.
We'd
He
give him
came
an
out. He came out and said like, I just want you guys to realize that even if you make this huge movie and you're the main actor, and it doesn't mean you're set.
Dude, that's Jussie
Wow.
Smollett stuff. I'm calling it. That's BS. I bet he's had offers for auditions.
I agree. I think he's had something at least, but that's what he said.
I think the creating the content is the way to go, really. I mean, you look at any actor that even has a show, they're making stuff on YouTube. You know, Will Smith is a king of that, right? There's also the lead, I forget her name, but she was on Riverdale, and she has a huge following on YouTube. She made it alongside the TV show.
I think all those people in Riverdale have a large following.
Kelly Ripa
But they create stuff at the same time, and industry people want to continue to hire you if you have,
So if an industry person wanted to hire you, which humor endorphin sketch? We can go look this up right now.
The Trump one?
Totally. This is good.
I like Field of Yips the best. I've always liked Field of
Hey,
Yips.
this
the
guy
best.
Thank you.
Johnny Ray
Thank you.
Diaz wrote it.
Somebody gets it.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Somebody gets it.
That was a fun one.
Sean Fawaz agreed too.
That's
Just
right.
saying.
He did.
Stand-up comedian.
Just saying.
Somebody
Sean
nobody
Fawaz.
knows
Yeah.
except us. Sean's cool.
So we try to make some stuff. on
Everybody
Humor
go look
Endorphins
up
once
Field of Yips right now and see Ash in his comedy prime.
Look up Humor Endorphins. Like and subscribe it.
There you go.
Why
Watch
not?
a bunch of stuff.
There you go.
And
Get
I
those views up.
I hate to ruin the mood. I'm gonna take off in about 2 minutes.
What time is it?
I have to go.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I have to go shoot a or rehearse for Jacindy's web series. But
Give it a free plug.
I don't know the name of it. Forget.
So
It's
a last question for Ash.
no, Ash.
I had one.
Last question, or I thought you guys would continue.
Yeah, you guys are
I
already
watched
did.
one more question.
I was
for
gonna say
Ash.
Ash. Last question for me.
Oh yeah. Which is your favorite sketch on Humor Endorphins?
I like the case,
Okay.
the first one.
Okay.
that we brought
That
back.
the second one. You like the first
And what was the last thing we did? The
The song.
with the Halloween one.
Halloween.
Did you guys
and the
listen
Halloween
to
one.
the song?
and the
though?
Halloween one.
The song I thought was pretty
I
good.
haven't listened yet.
Oh, we got some
The song was
very
good.
interesting stuff coming up
Ryan did a good job.
in a few weeks with Brian Galise. Brian Galise is pretty
Sintera.
amazing too.
We hope to have him on the pod when his episode of Westworld comes out.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, bye, Austin.
See ya.
All right, dude. Thanks for ditching us.
Now you got to just have two people talking to me. Sorry.
Ash, my question for you is, because you have seen quite a few of these episodes, us as hosts, we're trying to work on it, dude. We try, dude, but we're, how can we improve as hosts or individually? What characteristics do you like or dislike about us individually? Like, what are our roles on the show that you can pick out?
I think Johnny's role is to continue to have the serious conversation with people.
Johnny's great at
Try to
that.
keep everybody on track.
I have to keep the conversation moving, otherwise,
Johnny
it's
keep-
just
Johnny-
a joke fest.
like-
He kills
yeah.
at that.
And Aaron's role is the antagonizer, and it's a good role to have.
So name one time I've antagonized a guest.
I can't exactly remember.
You
but-
can't. Oh, you can't
But
name one.
you say,
Doing it
you
right
do
now.
say, no, you know what? That's how you win your arguments. You're like, it's kind of like what my brother does. You don't even remember, so
Well, I'm
you
just-
don't have any arguments.
Well, you're just going on feeling right now. I'm asking you to name an example.
Well, there was the example where you said we had a little bit of a dicey conversation at the beginning. I don't think that was really
You and me.
dicey. No, with Renee Menace. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back through all the podcasts just so you guys have even more airtime, and I will give you a list of everything.
but skip the first 5 because I agree. I was a little bit antagonistic.
But I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I like it. I like that you're so antagonistic and a villain.
But I wasn't to Renee Mena. I wasn't. If I was,
I just want to give the other. You're devil's advocate.
as
That's
you-
what it
well,
is. I
as-
shouldn't say
but that was-
antagonist. You're the
okay,
devil's advocate.
But that wasn't a good
right?
example because with Renee Mena, I just warned the audience. I was like, hey, it starts off a little saucy. Johnny was saying, yeah, I don't know where it went. I was like, no, I liked it. We're all just having a good time. And then you cut to the interview and you saw us just having a good time. I wasn't antagonistic with him.
I think it's Austin and you are like good cop, bad cop.
Okay.
Kind of thing going on.
Tries to keep you in check.
Any other example before we move on to Johnny? Because I don't want to stick with this. Any other example?
You already got to me. You already
Besides
did
the
me.
Renee Mena, is there any other thing you think of? Because I don't think that's a
There
good
was I remember there was an actress on there. I'm trying to think.
What she look like?
Oh,
because we know the names.
you're giving her a lot of shit.
What is she?
Was it the
Blonde hair?
No,
Might
no.
have been one of the Latina.
No, yeah, the
actresses.
short
Justina?
film. No, the other one.
Armida.
Armida.
Yes, I think it was Armida.
What did you
She,
say to
dude,
her?
she loved me.
What did you
She
say to
loved
her?
me.
But just because you're antagonistic doesn't mean that you're a bad guy or people hate you.
Antagonistic's the wrong word because Ash just
Okay.
brought up
Yeah.
a great example where I had such a good rapport with the guest.
See, the thing about Aaron is that
She
like,
loved me and I loved her.
he's good at being a little more confrontational, antagonizing. But the thing is that like he does it in a likable way. So you're like,
The
all
likable
right,
villain.
well, it's
Thanks,
okay.
Johnny.
But if it was like another guy, you'd be like, dude, why are you? What's up with you, man? Like this
Yeah.
negative energy.
Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
So he
haven't
can
been
straddle the line.
hasn't done anything with me. It's been totally straight.
Yeah.
Ash,
So-
Ash
But-
takes it pretty well.
But Armida, we had a great rapport. She liked me a lot, I think. And I liked
we
her.
Get, we
Did
get
you
it,
get her
dude.
number later?
We get it, dude.
I can message her whenever I want.
Okay. Good job, man.
Anyway,
So anyway, I want to get back to acting. Why did you choose this versus medicine? And
yeah,
I want to.
that's what I'm most curious about.
I didn't really fit in. I didn't fit into the medical world. So with the people.
Because
I just joked around and like kind of enjoyed life all the time. Like for instance, I was on when I was a medical student, I was on a gyne obstetrics rotation, and they were having very serious conversations about the fallopian tube and different ways to tie it and different procedures and stuff. I was like, why don't you guys do what I do? Just pull out. And nobody really laughed. And I was like, that was a joke, guys.
they're like, what's the medical
And
term
then I got
for
wrote
that?
up for it.
It is.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
So
well, you
with-
made people uncomfortable.
With the,
That was
his,
bad.
with the
It's like a-
hysterectomy, there is more of a risk than just what the guys go through. So yeah, I can, it's like, oh, you might die, but Ash just got that joke in. That's good.
Did you ever? Well, I guess this probably wasn't your area of medicine, but I always thought it'd be funny. Maybe this isn't the right thing to do, but you're delivering news to a patient, and you're just like looking at the chart very seriously, and you're just like, "You got 6 months." And they're like, "Wait, what? I just came in for a physical." They're like,
Till I got to see you again. 6 months.
"Yeah, 6 months." Like, did you ever do that at all?
That's exactly my sense of humor. And
Dude,
it just
I
doesn't
would-
work.
I would always think that would be so. When I worked at a bank, I remember oftentimes people get very fragile with their money, right? They're very sensitive about it. I'd pull up their accounts, they'd ask up a question about whatever, and I'd be like, actually, all your accounts are actually negative. They've been liquidated.
Come on, dude.
And they'd be like, wait, what? Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It's completely zeroed out.
You
And
said
then-
that.
Yeah, I would do, and they'd be like, Are you kidding me? And I'm like, nah, I'm just joking with you. And they'd be like, they'd look at me like, dude, that wasn't cool. And I'd be like, oh, I thought it was funny. I thought it's kind of
you
funny.
can actually get away with that. I couldn't get away with it in medicine.
Well, I mean, because it's their
It's a lot more
health, dude.
serious.
It's their
Yeah,
life.
But some of those accounts had hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Or they had, or even if they had $1,000 to them, for them to lose $1,000 is a big deal.
great.
So it's like,
Regardless the amount, it was 100%. Johnny told them they lost.
I mean, dude. Some people just can't handle it.
Some
dude.
people can't handle
No.
it.
I can't deal with those serious jobs, right?
So what do you think if you were to go back into medicine? What is the most humorous position in medicine
Great question.
where you could be like, oh, that guy's a joke taker because he is,
A proctologist.
proctologist.
Ass man.
Yeah. What would it be?
I don't know. I mean, even
Gynecologist?
like
I don't know.
there's just you can't say anything inappropriate in the OR. People are getting in trouble, like a lot.
People
As I
are
was
getting
going through med
sued,
school.
too, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but they're definitely getting in trouble.
You
They're
don't
getting
think
written
doctors
up.
get sued?
Do I not think doctors get sued for saying inappropriate things in the surgery room? I've seen people do like YouTube videos where they're dancing and stuff and then getting sued by patients, but
Yeah,
they also
because-
are having bad surgery outcomes. So
Well, they're like, you're not operating. I mean, you're dancing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
yeah,
It's kind of like that Seinfeld bit where he goes to the dentist and he kind of hazily wakes up in a daze from this Novocaine or whatever, the anesthesia. And then he sees the dentist putting his clothes back on. And he's like, dude, did I just get molested? What is it? He did something with the nurse? Like, what happened?
It's hilarious.
Dude, maybe it happens, dude.
Got an anti-dentite over here.
Oh, easy there, pal. Now you're going to say they should have their own schools.
They do have their own schools.
See? Oh,
watched every episode of Seinfeld, both of you, right?
I've seen many of them.
too many times.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of them over again. But
So, for a young, feeble-minded actor out there that is living in Houston, Texas, a big red state, super conservative, very Republican, eating steak every day, and they're thinking like, you know what? I want to take my talents to La La Land in this liberal, crazy town. What advice
Social-
would you give them?
Justice warrior.
What should they do to become this famous actor that you want to become?
How can they fit in
I
with this
already am
town?
a famous actor, Johnny. I'm in humor endorphins.
True. But I'm telling you, what advice would you give to them?
Okay.
To,
Well,
peop-
what would you do?
to people who are conservative coming to LA.
I'm not conservative.
And Andrew Yang is a good like middle road. You can say, "Oh, I'm for Andrew."
Let it go, dude. He's not going to do anything.
And still be kind of like, okay.
I would say, don't let your parents crush your dreams. You know, if there's something that you really love, then go for it because you've only got one life to live. You got a very short time on this planet, and yeah, sure, you can make a lot of money and piss on your soul and be depressed, or you can just really swing for the fences and keep going with it and do what you love. I wasn't ready for applause, but okay,
Boom.
thank you.
Swing for the fences. I like that, dude. Swing for the fences.
Yeah.
You might strike out.
You might strike out,
but you might get
at
a
least
ball.
I would rather die knowing that I tried than.
So what you're trying to, what you're
80
trying to
years
say
old, if
is
I'm like going back on my deathbed, I'm like, I never did the thing I wanted to do.
80 years old, living in a studio in West Hollywood,
Maybe even.
and you're
yeah.
just like, man,
At least I did it.
keep going.
At least I did it.
I got one more student film audition today. This could be the one.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, my roommate, who is a director, would say something totally opposite than that.
Such
you know.
as? Tell us
You-
about this roommate you have, by the way.
Yeah, he's a old director, WGA, DGA. He's all those things. Worked with John Cassavetes.
Old Hollywood, huh?
Yeah, he's got some bad advice.
And I've been to his house, big house. You know,
He took the movie from his he took the money from his movie and put it all in real estate. Doesn't really make any movies right now. He believes it's an art and you should have your, a lot of money coming in rather than focusing on the art. But I feel like if he'd focused on the art, he would have been very successful as a director.
That's the bad advice.
Well, he just says, I feel so sorry for all these like 50-year-old women that are still handing out headshots. It's like, just go home already and do something different.
They've
and make
never
some
cast
money.
a 50-year-old woman. Is that what he
but
thinks?
we're all thinking that. I mean, right? I'm just thinking.
I never thought that.
I never thought that. I'm like,
kidding.
wow,
You're not
that's,
gonna,
that's
not
courageous.
You're not going to play the young ingenue, but
Yeah.
they're still cast for.
Well, and also the other thing is like, what is this bullshit about working actor? There's no working actors. You're either a movie star or you're not. I'm like, what do you mean?
disagree.
Working actor making 200,000.
I mean, there's plenty of
That's
actors that are making six figures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're not
exactly.
super famous,
Yeah.
but they're
There's
making
character
200,000-300,000 a year.
Guy who played the father on Step Brothers. That guy.
What, Richard Jenkins?
Yeah.
What do you mean he's like nominated for an Oscar?
He's a character actor, though.
Yeah, but that dude's been in like a shit ton of stuff.
He's
I
also
know.
like,
He's probably a multi-millionaire.
I was just saying he's not like an A-lister.
Right, but you could argue he's not a movie star, but like once you're nominated for an Oscar, it's like a badge of honor, right?
unless you're Nicolas Cage.
No, dude, that guy is one of my favorite actors.
Really?
I love that guy. I'm not saying he's good.
We had a
But he's entertaining.
former acting instructor that says the curse of the Oscars, right? Every time you get an Oscar, then your career just goes downhill.
I mean, that does
I don't
happen
know.
sometimes.
I don't know. I mean, Ryan brought that up once. He said a lot of interesting stuff. I can't remember his point with that. What are you saying? Don't try for an Oscar? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
No.
It's a campaign anyway.
I mean, he's probably saying people
With a lot
rest
of
on their
money.
laurels. Yeah, exactly. Campaign. You're above that. You're in it for the art.
I'm in it for the art for sure. I don't care if I win any awards.
Are you in it for the art or the money?
Both.
But you already, you're in it for the money?
Selfish, dude. Selfish.
I want to make money from this for sure.
Oh, okay.
If you go into it just for the art, then you're just going to do it for the art. But if you're doing it for the art and the money, you
When
make money from it.
Johnny asked you to officially be on this podcast, because I was texting you last night and you just assumed I was going to ask you to be on this podcast, and then Johnny actually asked you. Stories must have flashed through your head since you've listened. What story did you think, man, I might tell this on this podcast today?
I think I told them all.
Oh, okay.
I do have a kind of an interesting story, but it's very short. So
Well, we're almost out of time.
When I was in Houston auditioning, there was this commercial that I went up to audition for. And as I said before, photography is part of my income, and I take pictures of myself and sell them. Well, on the storyboard for that audition, I was there on the picture, and I told the casting director, I was like, yo, you don't need to look any further. I'm right there. She's like, really?
Oh, that was really you.
Yeah, I was on the storyboard because they'd bought the picture from
That's
the
awesome.
stock.
Did they
but,
buy it, or did they just, it had like the Shutterstock
it-
thing on it?
No, I think they actually bought it.
Nice.
Yeah. And,
So,
and
did
I
you
was like,
book it?
She said, no, I didn't book it.
Okay.
So I must have been really bad at that time.
That's hilarious.
Because to have a sign like that where they're
Right.
like, this is the guy
This is
that
the guy
you
we
want.
want.
And she believed it. She was like, yes, that is you.
Yeah, she believed it because I'm an honest person.
Well, she could also look at the photo and be like, yeah, that's you.
Yeah, she saw it. And she's like, that is you. Wow, that's crazy.
She's
It's
like,
like,
oh, no,
I'll
no,
let them know. I'll let the producers
this
know
is a storyboard we're trying to avoid. This is the
of the things we don't want.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey man, you know what, dude? There's no guarantee in this town.
I just went to the Burger King callback, and I think that's pretty much guaranteed.
Booked it. Are you gonna eat me for the commercial?
I would do it, although I'd prefer the Impossible Whopper.
You sick bastard.
They'll
Oh, I'm
probably
sorry.
give you the Impossible Burger.
But I would though. I would eat meat for a SAG commercial. Wouldn't you guys? You guys are all vegan,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Union commercial, yeah, I'd
Yeah,
do it.
Of course.
But then I would use that money to save a nice young, frail animal.
Yeah, exactly.
I would.
Nice and young.
Yeah, feeble, eager.
Didn't know where that was going, Johnny.
I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going right now. I'm delusional right now. Lack of sleep.
So I guess you'll probably take this podcast and put it in a pile of things you really don't want to show yet.
It was a little bit different. You know, it was
Yeah.
kind of like just like friends hanging out.
It was kind of like the Johnny Day one, except
Except Ash isn't going to quit.
Yeah, except that one at the end wasn't kind of like really disheartening.
Johnny
Dude,
Day.
I do extra work. I'm not above it. I do anything. But here's the way I look at extra work is I'm always like, hey, I tell them up front, I'm like, I'm a doctor. Do you have any scenes where, you know, I need to be in a medical area?
And they believe you.
Yeah.
I should do that
You
then.
know, it's surprising. Anybody could do that. They're not going to check
Right.
it.
Right.
That's
You
true.
know?
But you look like you could be a doctor. Right?
I
think
don't
so.
know. I feel like I'm a freak.
If I see an Indian guy in a sports coat, doctor.
All
Or
Indians
in-
wear sports coats, right?
Exactly.
Do they?
Dermatologist?
Do I dress like other Indian guys?
Do you-
Someone said I do.
Do you iron your own shirts, or are they all pressed by a dry cleaner?
No, I iron my shirts.
You do a great job every time. This guy's got an ironed dress shirt.
Polished. Fresh out of the
That's,
dry
that's what
cleaner.
one of my friends said. He's like, forget medicine. Just like, you are the best ironer of shirts. That's like,
Okay.
best. I asked him, I
Racist.
was like, what do you think my skills are? And he's like, no one can iron shirts like
Dry cleaning business.
you. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed.
You
then.
noticed too. All right.
Hey man, today you're
That's-
rocking a
that's one of my
cardigan, dude.
skills.
You got the cardigan today.
Yeah, it's
Very,
a special day for me to be on the Surviving Hollywood podcast. I had to look at the picture to remember the name.
Very
But I do
techie
listen to it
Silicon
every day.
Valley.
It's one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah.
And we appreciate
Go
the
back.
one fan we have.
Yeah, where can our audience find you, my friend?
You can find me on Humor Endorphins. Check that out. Humor Endorphins on YouTube. And also Instagram and Facebook.
Cynical
Ash.
guy. Oh, okay.
Ash Tholpady.
Ash.
And how do you
Tholpady.
how do you spell that for the audience?
They don't know how to spell Tholpady?
They might not.
Tholpady. I always have
I'm
to
going
check.
to do it very
Oh.
slow. The first name is Ash, of course. ASH. Ash from
Short-
versus Evil Dead.
Short for.
Short for Ashok, which means
Why
the
don't
one
you-
without sorrow.
Why don't you go with that one?
Ashok Tholpady is
You
my
seem
doctor
like,
name.
You seem like you have some sorrow in the back of your.
I have
Okay.
plenty of sorrow.
Back of your smile.
It's always there. It's just always baseline there.
Oh, should we talk about that? That should have been what the podcast is about.
Yeah.
Dude, because when we went to Vegas together and.
That was a great time.
Yeah,
we
I
went
had
on
fun,
Game Show
actually.
Network,
I had fun.
and these guys thought I would totally bomb.
Matt Pescio blew it.
I didn't think you'd bomb.
Matt Pescio blew it.
We each get like $250, right? Or 150 or
I
something?
don't think we can even talk about
250.
anything that we've done until it's aired. Has it aired yet?
Come on.
Well, we're
dude.
giving up 150. They're going to mail it to us.
It's in the mail already. Travesty, man. That was the word.
It was a travesty that we lost.
This
What a great-
podcast is a travesty.
What a great time
But
I
after,
had.
but after we came back in the car ride, driving in the middle of the night from Vegas to Los Angeles, Johnny's asleep in the back because it was a hellish day in that like box they put us in.
Yeah, they put us in like a storage crate.
But Ash turns to me, and you were asleep, and he goes, "I needed this."
Oh, yeah.
You said that to me too.
You know what? If I'm not on set or if I'm not working on something, then yeah, I feel a little bit down. You know, I need that time. I just love being there on any production, even if I'm helping out with the production. It's
Yeah.
like, all right.
That's one thing I like about Ash, dude. He's always got a good state. You know, like
Yeah, he's fun
this
to
is
hang around
great.
with.
This is a good day. We're doing this, and it's like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, he's
15 hours later, yeah,
Well,
I guess so.
I was actually impressed. I was impressed by Pescio's state that whole day, the way he was like interacting. I was like, oh, that's like, I think like that's not the only way you can act, but that's like one way that I felt like was he had a good state.
What was he
set.
doing?
yeah.
Joking around with the costume department. He was basically giving everybody pushback in like a fun,
way.
And you could have easily like effed that up, but I thought the way he was doing it was actually breaking the monotony of the day because everybody on set had
hated
bad
us.
attitudes to the
Right.
whole everybody. So Pescio would like break that up and kind of like change people's state. So
We almost got thrown off the show.
Yeah,
Can't go into too much detail, but remember?
But we've
We
already
snuck in to
revealed
get
one
coffee?
thing that we
Yeah.
could get fined $1 million for.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're not supposed to tell the outcome of the game show.
We didn't say the outcome.
Okay, we didn't. That's
No,
right.
what? I didn't say any outcome.
oh, I kind of did. Guys, I was just kidding. It's satire. Anyway, Ash, give us a call to action right to the camera. Inspire our audience. Anything you want to say, give them a call to action.
Don't leave your day job.
Don't leave your day job.
Oh, I'm kidding. Follow your dreams.
But can you
Follow your dreams.
can you give us something like go off on a little, you know,
A little gusto.
yeah,
All right, guys. Okay.
because that's how we're gonna end it. So
Look, you can either just sit here and you can listen to what everybody else tells you to do, like your parents and your peers and your uncles and your grandparents, or you can really do what you love to do, and you will make money with it. I'm making money with it.
Mm.
You can do it.
Mm.
Doesn't matter.
Mm.
Go for it.
A little more? Is this a Spielberg or?
Actually, it's copyrighted, so I don't want to play too much. It was the national anthem. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.
Take care.